calm down a bit. This is right now. She's wearing the suit again, the Victoria Beckham suit, and also very good timing, don't you think? Because Victoria Beckham and David Beckham and the Beckham clan were out last night in celebration of her new documentary on Netflix. So quite good timing, because I feel like lots of people are going to be searching Victoria Beckham. Anyway, this suit will go down in history as one of her best looks.
Victoria Beckham says some similar things that Ayesha Curry says in her new documentary on Netflix, but people are not going to react the same way for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's Victoria Beckham, so people have more empathy for her because she is a star. But she does talk about how when you're a wag, she has a whole section where she talks about wags. And she says when you're a wag, it's Eva Longoria who's saying when you're a wag, they expect you to just be... I think all you want to do is wear pretty clothes and spend his money, and all you're allowed to be is grateful because the world idolizes him. So you have to bow at his feet. And it's very interesting because the way people are talking about this Ayesha, I can't take it seriously, because if you play it side to side with an interview of a man disrespecting his wife, men don't take that seriously. They only care, and it could be athletes too. They only care when a man gets any woman who's with a man says anything other than, I feel completely indebted to him for my entire life and I will never act like I've ever had an unhappy thought, then she's a villain. It's just so stupid, because clearly there's a through line here. It's not even reinventing the wheel, and she didn't say anything crazy. But if you talk to, or if you look at the lives and the thoughts of many women who are married to athletes, it's actually very similar. So why is she being punished? And are y'all gonna do Victoria Beckham like that? No. No, you won't. Are you gonna do any other man who speaks about his wife like that? No. Because men are allowed to disrespect their wives on podcasts and on the internet and on public platforms. Women are not allowed to say that they want to self-actualize, because your actualization is supposed to be in marrying your husband. How dare you? It's just so silly and stupid.
Beckham Netflix documentary, and something she just said triggered me. I'm a fan of Victoria Beckham. I have been since the Spice Girl. She's always been my favorite Spice Girl, and when she got into the fashion business, I just thought that was like a natural transition, because I always felt she was very chic. So to hear her talk about how insecure she was getting into the fashion business from being a Spice Girl was a little surprising to me, because I just always thought she was such a natural at it. And one thing she just said was when she was getting ready to break into that industry, her and the Spice Girls had gotten back together and they were on tour in 2008. So she said after she did a few shows, she knew that the stage was not for her anymore and that she wanted to pursue her career in fashion. And she said Mel B said this one thing to her: don't forget where you came from. That triggered me, because also during a point in time when I was about to make a big transition in my life out of college and move from my hometown to Atlanta, one of my very best friends at the time told me, don't forget where you come from. And at the time, I laughed it off, but hindsight is 2020. And as time went on over the years, as I would progress and try to do things that, I had set my mind to, she would say little things like that. So now to see Victoria has had such a huge success in the fashion business, and now it's been almost 20 years now since she started her line. And Mel B, what are you doing exactly? Same goes for my former friend. I moved away, pursued my dreams, did everything I put my mind to, but she's still stuck in that mentality that she was still in 20 years ago, and she's still in our hometown not doing much. So moral of the story is, don't ever let anybody try to humble you. Follow your dreams, pursue your interests, do whatever you want to do in this life. And anyone who tries to discourage you otherwise are not meant for you. Get them out of your life, because they are intimidated by your potential and you threaten their mediocrity. That's it. That's all. Y'all have a good day.
But the way the media used to talk about women, some of the things that were said online should actually be a hate crime. Like, there were points where they wished her dead, which is so shocking, but I'm so glad she's opening up about it. I'm also glad she's opening up about the business losses. Like, I appreciate not many people would be able to have a business that goes 30 million in debt and then recover it. But I guess that's why both her and David had such a successful career beforehand, which bought her the leniency with money later on in her life. The first episode, I was a little bit surprised how focused it still was on David's career, because if you look at David's documentary, it was very much on David and not really on Victoria. Whereas the first episode of this, I was like, we're still talking a lot about David here. Where David's documentary talked about the cheating scandal, and I guess that's the most vulnerable thing to him. I think for Victoria, like, as much as they could have made it about her family life and everything, the most vulnerable thing for her was the thing she was mocked and belittled for, of like wanting to dare to have a fashion dream. It is shocking though, given her experience with the media and her talking about like the pressures that led to an eating disorder, that her line still doesn't really do plus sizes. Like, they technically say they do plus sizes, but I literally just went on her website and looked up size 20 and there was 0 things on offer at a size 20. In terms of the documentary though, I would say it was like easy watching. So if you want to like pop something on in the background while you're like folding laundry, it's the perfect thing for that.
So follow up later in that docuseries, she talked about how the public scrutiny of her weight did affect her. And the reason why it did affect her is because she did believe what they were saying. So she already had those beliefs, and it ended up leading to negative effects. We can watch it and find out. I don't know what I can say on here and what not. But yeah, so it was a really good example of she didn't believe when they were criticizing or judging her work when it came to the fashion industry, and that accelerated her. But she did believe their opinions on her weight, and that did end up hindering her.
So I just watched the new Victoria Beckham series on Netflix, and this is my hot take on what I think of it. I think as a business owner, it is a brilliant programme to watch, especially because it shows that it took her over 10 years to make a profit in business, even being who she is. She had everything going for her. She got the fame, the money, popularity, but it still took her 10 years to turn a profit. Does this sound familiar? She had slow seasons, moments of self-doubt, and many people doubting her ability, but she still showed up every day. And your bridal business works just the same. So each bride you work with, each image you add to your portfolio is building something bigger. Each year you're building more success and it's compounding. So year 1, you may be building your kit. Year 2, you'll be building referrals. By year 3, you'll learn that you can increase your pricing. And hopefully by year 4 and 5, you'll be building sustainable income and having seasons booked out every year. So just learn from Victoria, nothing comes overnight. Even for her, it took over 10 years to build the business she has today. Give yourself permission to build slowly, and remember, slow and steady wins the race. This is your sign to stay consistent, keep building, keep moving in the right direction. Even if you can't see it just yet, your turn will come.
This is the importance of marrying and partnering well. The partner makes a difference. Despite him saying that he's not very intelligent, I think actually that was one of his smartest decisions.